Long time. I guess hackathon from hackathon, hacker one hackathon.
Yeah, your voice is distorting, Sahil.
Again. It's okay. So I apologize if my voice is because I'm not
Not
at
at
my
all.
home currently. I'm staying at someone else's place. My home is under construction, so therefore I'm not at my home.
Mhm.
And Zain has sent me some questions which he told me that people have been asking him about. And can you please tell us about bug bounty, Adnan, about your experience in bug bounty and what bug bounty is to you? If you can define bug bounty
Yeah,
to the people who are beginners or something like that.
yeah, sure. I'll go, but do let me know if my voice distorted, right?
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, so if we see 10 years back, hacking was something as stereotype. Uh, it was considered as a bad guys things,
Yeah,
Uh, and due to that, but unfortunately or fortunately, I would say, companies can't secure themselves fully. There is no such machine which is fully 100% secure. The only way to secure is crowdsourcing it, because hacking is a perspective, and there are 8 billion people, so it means there are 8 billion perspectives. Companies spend billion and billion of dollar on their internal security, hiring security engineers on their infosec. But a kid from Germany, a 15-year-old kid from Germany, would come and find a such thing which which will shock your mind. So that's
exactly.
why the companies, the governments, even the agencies, they did realize this thing that you can't stop hackers. And the ultimate need of hackers was the money, right? They were after money for, if they hate, it was ultimately due to the currency and due to the money being involved. So these companies come up with an idea in early 2010 that let's play another game. Let's start paying these hackers for what they're doing. So rather than sending them to jails, or rather than compiling a case against them, let's invite them and give them an open permission to hack us. But a wide exploitation, report it to us legally, and we will pay you the money for that bug or for that hack, whatever you have find out. And that's how the concept of bug bounty have started developing in the early 2010, and it became mainstream later in 2015 and 2017. So ultimately, the only way to secure your infrastructure is crowdsourcing security. You invited people from all around the world. You're open to being get hacked, or you invite anyone to find bugs in your systems 24/7 anywhere from the world. And that's where the bug bounties world comes into being. So bug bounties is actually programs where companies, where governments, where anyone can actually invite people to hack their system. And if they do, so you pay them in term of their work, and in term of their time they have spent on your infrastructure. So that's the main thing. That's like a short idea of what bug bounty is and how it gets started.
Okay, so mashallah, Adnan has also provided some history regarding bug bounty as well of how it started and what is bug bounty. He has explained, I guess, a lot of things about bug bounty. So nowadays, there are many companies that are operating bug bounty programs, and there are public bug bounty programs as well as there are private bug bounty programs as well. So, how do you, I mean, for beginners, Zen has told me that this session is for beginners and to help them to learn about what bug bounty is and how they can participate in bug bounty programs. What are bug bounty programs? If you can discuss bug bounty programs a little bit. What are bug bounty programs and how do you participate? How can you earn from bug bounty hunting?
Yeah. Yeah, so there are multiple third-party platform for that, for getting started with bug bounties. Like HackerOne is one of the primary one. we
Yes.
got bug crowd. So these are the companies, these are the third party companies who actually connect you to the companies who are interested in your skill set of hacking. You know, so there are several platforms like HackerOne, Bugcrowd, Integrity, Yes We Hack, and Immunify, and a lot of others. Like you can search; it's just one Google search away. So
Yes. Yes.
these
Yes.
are the platforms where you need to register, where you need to sign up. And after signing up, some companies like signing they required a bit of test, while other are free and anyone could go and just sign up for that. So once you did that process, there's a list of programs which so there are two types of bug bounty program mainly. The one is public bug bounty program and the other is private. So the public bug bounty programs are companies which have an open invitation to everyone who have signed up on that platform, right? For example, if you sign up on HackerOne, there are a list of public bug bounty programs. So anyone who have signed up there can hack on that, right? They're allowed. While other companies, like they want their program to be for limited hackers or for hackers who have a particular skill set. So that's what we call private bug bounty program. So private bug bounty program have a requirement of certain things. Sometimes it's impact, sometimes it's your signal, sometimes it's your reputation, which are some states actually on different bug bounty platforms. So, for example, you get a good reputation at something, or your skill set is good, or it good at something. So these company invite you based on that, and you start hunting and you start hacking that company as well. So the good part at private bug bounty program is that they have very limited hackers hunting on that company. So you get a good chance to find bugs and hack their services or hack their systems. So that's the main difference. But obviously, to get some private invitation, you need to have a background of hunting on public programs. So you don't get invitation on your first day to a private program. You need to first hunt on public programs. Once you get some good reputation, then the private companies start, they start sending invitation to you, and that's how you get into the private programs. Apart from that, there are programs who are not listed on these third-party platforms like HackerOne or Integrity or SignX. They have just a static page on their main website where which we call security, and if you go there, they have mentioned some of their policies and some of their assets which you can hack on as well, and you can report it to via email to them, and they may pay you swag, they may pay you just holoframe, or they can may pay you in actual currency. So so you can find such kind of programs outside of these third-party platform as well. So like these are like some general different types of bug bounty programs.
Okay. So okay, that was well explained about private and public programs. Thank you so much. And okay. And what are your thoughts about? So we have discussed what bug bounty is. We have also discussed what are private and what are public programs. Now, I guess we can discuss how we can hunt, because if we find a bug bounty program, if we have already found a bug bounty program, a private one or a public one, then the question arises is that how can we hunt for particular issues, or how can we approach our target? Like for example, you have previously, I have seen your LinkedIn, and mashallah, I have also seen your HackerOne account as well, HackerOne profile, and you have earned
We used to
quite a
fight.
lot of dollars.
We used to fight on
Yeah.
HackerOne leaderboard. You remember that?
Yes, but it has been a lot of time since I joined PwC Pakistan. I got a little bit busy, and I did not had much time to participate. I do participate in bug bounty programs nowadays as well. I have recently um, got some bounties as well, but not on public programs, just on some private programs. But for beginner perspective, for many people who have been asking me, they asked this question, that how do you hunt bugs, or what do you hunt for, or what do you find, what are the issues that you look for, and how do you get bounties so easily? So not so easily. They think that we get them easily, but it is not an easy part. It requires a lot of time. But can you please explain what kind of issues can someone search on bug bounty programs? Either they are private or public, but what kind of issues should they search for or look for? Please.
Yeah, so it's a complicated question because I have to cover so much in order to answer this
Exactly. Yeah.
question. But like bug bounty programs are tough targets. They have a proper secure coding. Then they have their internal assessment, their QA, quality assurance. Then the software goes to their internal testing. The company may have a external pen testing as well, and then that assets goes to the bug bounty list. So it means that is one of the toughest target you will ever face. Uh, you
Exactly.
know, so it's not easy to find bugs so easy. You must need to have some deep knowledge and some deep understanding of different kind of bugs in order to find that. uh, you know but it depends from target to target. Like different targets have different technologies, different targets use different sort of frameworks, different target do use different type of servers, and other kind of technologies as well. So it depends what kind of target you are facing. For example, if you're so good at REST API, but your target is using GraphQL, so what are you going to do, right? So it's understanding your target, then trying to find the features they're using, the technologies, the framework, the backend infrastructure they are using. Once you get an idea of that, try searching for that. For example, if you come up with someone with a target who are using Laravel framework, so go and try to find the previous bugs, the previous CVEs of Laravel frameworks, and then understand that and then come and apply that on your target. So that's how things work, because it's not common, or there's no standard where that's you should hunt, that people used to hunt on. There are different standards for every person. There are different understanding of your targets, and it's changed from target to target, right? For example, you are so good at bypassing 2FA, but your target don't have a 2FA feature. So what's the alternative? So again, it's understanding the targets. Try understanding all the features it have. Go do some subdomains and enumerations. Go directory fuzzing. We'll talk about that later. But understanding your targets, the technology it's using, the framework it's using, the methodology, and how it has been been built up. Once you get an idea of that, then you need to come up with a hacking mindset and try to think out of the box and say, okay, where can I play my role as a hacker? How can I bypass this thing? How can I bypass that thing? And that's the ultimate methodology or approach you should have with your targets, because the targets change from every target you will approach will be using a different API or maybe a different technology. So there's nothing such as a standard methodology, right? I know there are some bugs which can be common across technologies, like we have an AWAS, top 10. But ultimately, in bug bounties, the main focus is on that unique feature, that unique technology that your target is using. Understand that. Try thinking like a hackers and try to bypass that. Uh, Naveed may want to add something on that. Naveed, do you?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So you were saying about the different technologies and vulnerabilities. So information disclosure are common among all them. Broken access controls and information disclosure bugs. In some websites, if you have all the roles, you can try broken access control bugs, privilege escalations, and a lot more. But if you have a website, a static website, it doesn't have a feature, you can't find a lot of bugs. But if you have a website with a lot of feature, you can try a lot of bugs like the top 10 OWASP bugs, information disclosure bugs, SSRF, XSRF, SQL. If you have the SQL technology used in that website, you can try and find SQL injection bugs in that website. Yeah.
So, to sum up what Adnan has said and what Naveed has contributed, I guess it would be sufficient to say that the first phase of hunting on a program, on any program, is to gather information regarding the target, or in
Yeah.
other words, to do reconnaissance. and information gathering is the initial step to gain knowledge about any target, and it may include different tools like in my I would also like to add something like we use Weaponizer to check what technologies are being used and what kind of CMS or WAF the application is using. So Cloudflare or any other. So this is a Weaponizer is a good extension, Google Chrome extension that we can use to gather information regarding an application. And like Adnan said that depending on the technologies the application is using, we can find CVEs related to the technology. If there is any technology that is vulnerable, that has been previously vulnerable to some vulnerabilities, we can check for them, and likewise we can hunt for issues that have previously been reported or previously been found. So that depends on the information that you have gathered. Then Naveed added that we can check for um, SQL injection vulnerabilities, broken access control, broken authentication issues, the OS top 10 issues. There are a lot of issues which we can check if we have a lot of functionalities. But in a static website, in a single pager, it is difficult to find issues. In a single website, I guess what I know, we can check for open ports. Maybe we use Nmap, and we can check for open ports. We can check for TLS, audited TLS versions, etc. And nothing more. We cannot find much vulnerabilities in a static website. But in a dynamic in a website which has many features, like Adnan himself, he has found a lot of issues in the past. I have also found some issues, and I have also seen Naveed in the group as well, in HackerOne group as well. I guess
Yeah.
yes, he has also. I have seen him
Naveed
before.
is active on
Uh,
Signic actually.
Yeah, I'm in
oh,
the signing
mashallah,
also.
mashallah,
Oh yeah.
mashallah, mashallah. So he is also a dangerous person. I know. I guess. So, mashallah, these people they have a lot of knowledge, and the purpose of this webinar is also to share the knowledge which we have. And okay, so moving on, Naveed and Adnan discussed about vulnerabilities and the different approaches that one can uh, perform depending on the target. And the first phase is reconnaissance. After that, there are a lot of vulnerabilities. Adnan, can you please guide us? How can we learn for these issues? Like many people ask us that how can we find a vulnerability or where can we learn from? And I have uh, I have myself told a lot of people about Portsfigure Lab, and apart from Portsfigure, there is World Web. We can also find practice issues there. Apart from that, for internal testing, because right now I'm also performing internal audits, internal tests as well. So Hack the Box is very popular. Hack the Box and Try Hack Me for finding issues in Active Directory and Active Directory issues and other issues. But that is advanced level. So for beginners, where can they learn different things? Where can they learn vulnerabilities, or um, how can you guide them a path, an easy path from which they can gain knowledge or something like that? Please.
Yeah. Yeah. So before getting into bug bounties, ask yourself some few questions. How persistent you are, because sometimes it take a month to just exploit a single vulnerabilities. The second question you need to ask how much patience you have, because that required a huge patience. Although I'm not so active right now in bug bounties, but still I know the trauma one go through while exploiting
Exactly.
or after following a bug for months. So, and the third question is how probable you are, like how probably your thinking approach is. Are you able to think outside of the box and coming up with different approaches, bypasses? So these are a few questions you need to ask, and if you're able to either develop these qualities or you already have, then it's good to start your bug bounty career. So starting with the book, I would suggest, like if you're a beginner and you know nothing, just like me when I was like 4 years ago, I guess. So start with the book Web Hacking 101. It's by Yawasaki, I guess that's the right name. And it's a super great for beginners because you get to know a lot of things, and they have just actually copy pasted the HackerOne reports and defined it in a very simple terms. So you will get a very basic idea like how real bugs look like, and and how can you find them. So for example, if you're reading the first chapter and for example it's cross-site scripting, so don't limit yourself to that book only. Start uh, searching for accesses on Google, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Medium as well. So like while you're reading that book, do search that term or that topic or that bug on the Google as well. So you could find other relevant resources as well, So like if you're coming into hacking and you don't know how to use Google, so I'm sorry, don't come to hacking now. Hacking is not for you, right? It's all about Googling. There's a popular meme how you become a hacker, and the person reply, I was just Googling stuff and just arrived here. So so that's number one thing, web hacking 101, and it's freely available. I guess you could find it very easily. The second book I would suggest is Web Application Hacker Handbook. Like before getting your hands on anything, you need to at least read these two books. Must. Then go for the practical work. But before that, do read these two books. I know it would be a bit stressful because reading book is not pretty common these days, but still. Web Hacking 101, and then the Web Application Hacker Handbook. Although it's quite old book, 2007, I guess.
Yeah, it's quite
Uh,
old. It's very old.
yeah, but it's considered as a Bible of
It's
bug hunting.
it's a big,
All
yeah.
right, I will
It's
leave
a
the
bit
link over
thick.
here.
It's a big binder.
Yeah, so do read that, and you will get a lot of understanding from that, from these two books. Once you completed these two books, you will have a general idea of how things work in real world and how these programs work and what kind of bugs I'm going to find in these systems. So then go for some practical work. Start with Coursera Academy, that is totally free of cost, and that is very good labs. So start with that. Start with the basic, solve the lab, then go advanced, solve the labs, and that's how things work. So Coursera is the not the only platform. There are other platforms like Pinterest Lab. Like Pinterest Lab is particularly designed for bug hunters. So the whole labs and the whole idea behind Pinterest Lab is to support the and include or add value to the bug hunting knowledge set. Is it noise on my end?
Sorry.
Is there noise on my end, or is it clear?
Uh, no, it's clear.
Okay, okay. So Pinterest Lab, the second thing, start with that. If you can't afford the premium, try with the basic one that is free, right? Apart from that, as you mentioned, hack the box. But I would suggest to start go for Coursera and Pinterest Lab. But most importantly, things join the community. Book hunting is nothing but a community. You learn from the community, you grow with the community, and then you pay back to the community. If you're not in
Exactly.
the bug
Exactly.
hunting community, you're not a bug hunter, right? Because all of the bug hunters, if you ask them, somewhere, somehow, they have learned all the things from the community.
Yeah.
And that's how things work here, right? You don't learn that thing in
Yes.
your university or from Coursera or from anywhere else. It's all about the community. So particularly start using Twitter and Medium, so and Discord as well. But Medium and Twitter, that are very popular platform. So Medium for blog, because all of the hackers who used to write about their POCs and real world different bugs, they post it on Medium. So install it right now. And Twitter, start following bug hunters. There are streamers, there are top
If you
hackers.
can
Start following them.
also mention your Medium blogs as well, because I
Yeah,
would definitely learn from you
yeah,
a lot. Like seeing
yeah.
your hacker profile.
I used to have a Medium account that is still active, but I don't write over there. I write it on my own website at nonmalik.info.
Okay.
But like I have 5 blogs right now, which is in draft. I haven't published it yet, and I guess there are a few blogs like 5 to 7 over there, which few are from bug hunting and two to three, or some from other topics. Uh,
Okay.
but start finding people, relevant people, and start following them. Join the communities. There are different communities right now. Like in Pakistan right now, there are so many communities. B-side Pakistan, Pakistan Hacker One Club. Apart from that, there are university societies coming up. So there are hackathons going on. So start, get participation, getting into the communities, and that's how you will learn all the whole things. So that's my advice for the beginners would be.
Okay. Okay. And Naveed has also shared some
Yeah.
links as well. Thank you so much, Naveed, for the
And I
links.
want to
And
thank you,
yes,
and I want to add some more points. There is a
yes,
community
please.
called InfoSec Write-ups. So they upload some great write-ups on the Bug Bounty. I will also link. I will leave there. And another thing is HackerOne Hacktivity. Uh, Basically, they publish when a hacker report to HackerOne, they publish some great write-ups on their platform. So a beginner must read their reports and how they, how the hacker published the reports to the hacker, and what are the vulnerabilities and what are the conversation with the triages. They will then alert from them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's also a very good resource. I have also mentioned that as well. Thank you so much, Naveed, for that. And so to sum up what Adnan and Naveed had discussed is that um, blogs to learn about bug bounty, to learn about vulnerabilities. We can read blogs on Medium, and we can find related information. For example, for as far as I have used Twitter or Medium, at some points we need to bypass Cloudflare and we need to get payloads which can bypass Cloudflare. So what I usually do is that I usually search it on Twitter, and I sometimes find something useful. But the main thing, like Adnan told in the beginning, is that if you know how to Google, then you are good to go. But if you do not know how to Google, first learn how to Google, and then hacking is for you. But unless you're not aware of how to Google things, hacking is not for you. So then the key point is that you should know how to Google stuff. You should know how to find stuff on Google. You should know how to use Google Docs. You can find a lot of things using Google Docs. Google Docs is a technique which we can use to, uh, you know, we use Google search engine in a very efficient way. And apart from that, Naveed also shared that Medium and Twitter, and along with InfoSec write-ups. These are very good platforms where we can get write-ups of hackathon reports, and also we can learn from those reports as well. So thank you so much, Naveed, for that. And moving on, so now we have known what bug bounty is, how to start bug bounty, how a beginner can start in bug bounty, what are the private programs and public programs, how we can find vulnerabilities, and how we can learn about vulnerabilities, like reading startup, reading Medium blogs and other things as well. And we have also discussed what skill you need. I guess Adnan also summarized that as well in a single sentence. You should know how to use Google, and you should also know how to. You should know about the technology that an application is using. You should read the books that Adnan has discussed and previously. And apart from this, Zen also asked another question. I guess someone asked him that question. He asked that, can you recommend bug bounty hunting full time? Adnan, please.
Yeah, so it's a very hard conversation going on. Like, oh, since I have joined the community, this is the conversation which has never been concluded yet. But if you have to take my opinion, it depends. It depends on so many factors, on your background, on your mentality, on your personality as well. Like, uh, you know, how you planning your life. So if you're sort of a person who is very happy, who have no, pressure, or have no societal pressures to do a job or something like that. So yeah, it's a good choice as well. But the stability, that is main concern, because in bug hunting sometime, there's a very popular meme, again I would mention that in bug hunting, 1 month you are a Bill Gates, and the second month you are finding money in your pockets.
Exactly. Yes,
You know,
this
so
is.
yeah, yeah. So there is a stability concern, and until and unless like you have 4 to 5 years of experience in bug hunting, and you're so good that you're confident on yourself that you can,
If you are
reports every.
a New Day, there's a hacker on Hacker One. New Day, I guess.
Yeah, New Day, at the rate
Unless
New
you're
Day, I
an,
guess.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He has,
Or
I had,
yeah,
he has hunted many bugs. He's quite a pro on a very high level, but uh, I guess that's his name. I used to follow
yeah.
some hacker profiles in the past, but that is
Today's
really
new.
quite
Today's
enough for
new.
you.
The
Today is new. Today is new.
username.
Today is new. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Yes. Please
So
continue, Adnan. Please continue.
yeah. So again, it depends on so many factors, and you're the one who is going to define this thing. But like if you're starting your career and you already have 4 to 5 years of experience in bug hunting, it's good to have it as a career, right? Because you already are so good at things. But if you're starting your career and you're also at very beginner level of bug bounties, so it's not a very good idea. And at the end of the day, many people seek stability over income. That's the main thing people look for. So that's why you are the person who is going to decide whether it's a good choice or good lifestyle to go for or not, because sitting at your computer all day long at your home, uh, you know uh, that's ultimate choice you have to take. While job, that's also like many people I know, they started the bug bounty initially in their career, but they have either shifted to business side or a job side. So many great hackers I know, yes, there are few who are full-time bug hunters, but there are also a majority of people who are doing job while doing bug bounties part-time. So I guess it's on your personal choices how you want to spend your life. But again, if you ask me from the income point of view, so if it's beginning of your bug bounty, bug bounty field and beginning of your career, so I won't suggest to go for it full time. But if you're starting your career with already having 4 to 5 years of experience in bug bounty, like you have started earlier, so yes, then it's a very good option to go for, because you got so much freedom. You got bug bounty is the essential freedom. Like people use tell me that freelancing is a freedom, but I would say yes, but somehow at the end of the day, you are so you are liable to and you are accountable to your client. They will give you a deadline. In bug bounty, it's so much freedom. Like you are not answerable to anyone. You're not accountable to anyone. At the end of the day, it's all your choice, your time, and your skill set. How much hours you want to put in to your target, how much want how much time you want to take a break. It's all on you. So it's give you the immense freedom. So yeah, it's all depend on your choices, on your mentality, and again your skill sets, the level of skill set you have when you are starting your career. So personally, I was hoping that I will go for bug bounty as a full time career, but right now I'm into business. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much. So basically, as you're saying that doing full-time bug bounty hunting can be a bit risky as well sometimes, because sometimes you get maybe a four-digit bounty, but sometimes there are times that I have even in my career, some days I did not receive anything, and sometimes I have received a four-digit bounty as well. And Adnan here, mashallah, he has also received big bounties as well. And I hope Naveed has also received big bounties as well.
Yeah.
He's part of Sanak, mashallah, and it's a dream. It's my dream as well to become a part of SINEC, inshallah, one day. And
Inshallah, inshallah.
inshallah, jazakallah. So, yeah, I guess to summarize this question, I guess it would be correct to say that be on the safe side. if you are passionate about bug hunting, you will eventually find bugs. You will eventually earn dollars in bug bounty, and because it's also, in my opinion, bug bounty hunting is a passion. Not everyone can do bug bounty hunting. Like for Adnan here, he has time. He manages things to hunt for bugs on platforms. It's not very easy. Many people think that hunting bugs is like very easy thing. No, it's not, like it's not a very easy thing. You have to spend hours and hours looking at the screen and checking the requests and responses and
And cry occasionally. I guess have your internet freezed.
Yeah, it's freeze, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So Zain, are you here? Or
Yes, I am here.
so do you want to continue with questions?
Uh, yes, of course. We want. I think Suhail bhai has some internet issue.
Yeah, maybe. But we got some question in the chat. If you can read that to us.
Yes. Like, first of all, I would like to ask uh, how to avoid duplicate.
Damn.
Yeah, Naveed, you want to go first on that because you got
Uh,
so much duplicates.
but the first thing I would say that don't use automatic tools like which will have that. Okay. Oh, so nuclei. I was talking about nuclei. When you finding a bug in a website, try a different approach, manual approach. Don't use a lot of automated tools. You end up a lot of duplicated tools in NA. Be a different approach. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah. So I
my
Also,
want to
internet
add.
connection was
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so I
Please
want to
continue,
add
Adnan.
into that how to avoid duplicates. So as Navid mentioned, avoid automatic tools. Use them, but obviously, if you're dependent on your those tools, obviously you're gonna get so much duplicates. And be ready for getting duplicates at the start of your bug bounty career, right? Because it's so pretty common when you're starting your bug bounty life, you get a lot of duplicates. So don't get disheartened on that. Apart from that, build your own methodology with the passage of time, right? If you're following somebody else methodology or somebody else techniques, it's not going to work, or I would say it's not sustainable, because at the end of the day, if you're thinking just like another hacker or just like another bug bounty hunter, so you will get a lot of duplicates. And duplicates often happens on on reports which are not so common or not so unique, which are so generalized or standard bugs. But if you're approaching your target with so much unique perspective, putting your own methodology into it and building your own techniques along with the passage of time, that's what will help you avoiding those duplicates. And also be the first one in terms of approaching your targets. That could help as well. And but you can't avoid duplicates 100% because it happens to us as well. Like even people, I also know people who have like 5 to 7 years of experience in bug bounty. They still get duplicates on daily basis. So it's common, but don't get disheartened with that. Try these techniques like avoid automation tools which are publicly available and anyone are
Yeah.
using that. Avoid the standard methods people are using to hunt bugs or scanners to hunt bugs. So avoid those techniques, and I hope you will avoid duplicates up to some certain level, not 100%, but up to some certain level.
And also, duplicate is a good sign that you are going good. So don't get discouraged, and build a good methodology to hunt bugs.
Yeah, exactly. At the start, you need to get happy on getting duplicate because that's a positive sign that you're progressing. At least you have
At least, yeah.
improved from NA to duplicate. So that's a good
Uh,
sign at the start, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So duplicate don't hurt until it's a critical bug. Then it's do hurt.
Uh, okay, so Zen continuing the video, continuing questioning.
Okay. Okay, I would like to ask another question. Uh, what should be the mindset to have a proper bug bounty hunter? Like, you can say that a real bug bounty hunter. What should be the proper mindset?
Yeah. So getting good with the concepts, with the terms and techniques used in bug hunting, and trying to improve with the time, because bug hunting things are getting changed on daily basis. The old techniques get retarded and the new techniques coming in, the new bypasses coming in. A lot of bugs are getting obsolete, so you need to quite be up to date with things. For example, if there is 0 days, so make sure you're one of those people who could actually exploit that thing and get your hands on some bugs. Reading a lot, that is something which will help you, and will give you an edge on other hackers. So reading is something which you need to do a lot. For example, if it's your target, try to read their docs, try to read their dev docs, right? So you will get to understand the product, and that's how you could come up with a good mind and a fresh perspective to hack on. For example, I'm a type of bug hunter who don't usually hunt on a lot of companies. I have just particular programs, like in like 3 years I've hunted totally on 5 to 7 targets, I would say. And the reason behind that is because I need to have a very deep understanding of my target in order to hack it. I can't hack just like, do some reconnaissance and I will find bugs. No, that's not my way. Maybe it worked for other hackers, but not for me. I'm the person who need to have a very deep understanding and getting myself comfortable with my target. And that's how I find bugs then. So the mindset you need to have is reading a lot, updating yourself, equipping yourself with fresh techniques and fresh methodologies, and that will help you, in the long run.
And Mashallah, you also wrapped up another question like uh, there was some question about the target selection. Like, how should we select the target and how to approach it? So, you have like given the half of its answer. Like, what about the other? How to approach the target?
Yeah, how to choose a target or how to approach a target? These like are two separate questions.
First of all, how can we choose and how we can approach it? So that's the main question.
Yeah, so choosing a target, that is the hardest task, because there are so many targets and one need to find the best one to hunt on. So again, it depends on you, your choices, your weaknesses, your strengths, and your skill set you have. Technologies using, your kind of the knowledge you have, and if you think you can apply that on your targets, go for that thing. But at the end of the day, there are several parameters to choose a target for yourself. Number one is like for me, sometime, the first thing I see is their response rate. Some companies are very slow at responding, or or reacting to your reports. So that is a red flag for many hackers. So maybe it's not for you, but for many it is. Actually, the second thing is like it's the money. Sometimes hackers like, they hunt on programs which pay good, while some programs they pay very less. So it's the second flag you can think of. The third is how, you know how good you are on that target. For example, some people used to hunt on different web applications. Some are good at mobile application targets, and some are good at source code reading. So at the end of the day, it's your skill set, your mindset, and the ease of getting comfortable with their targets. That's ultimately depends which target you should choose. So these are the few points I see, and the programs I mentioned 5 to 7. The reason I hunt on those programs is number one is I was it very easy. I get very comfortable with that very easily, right? The second was their response rate, and the third was they were paying good. So there are several parameters you need to look at before choosing a program.
So now I would like to ask you about the reconnaissance. Can we automate this? If yes, then how?
Maybe you want to go first on that,
Oh
or
yes.
maybe it is not. Yeah, he's here.
So the first two is if you want to automate a first if you want to automate a bug like exercise. Suppose I find exercise on a specific endpoint and specific parameter, so we can make a nuclei template out of it. There is a tool called Nuclei by Project Discovery. You can find it on the GitHub. So we can automate our task or automate our vulnerabilities and make a nuclei template out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how to improve our reconnaissance using scripts and which language we should learn for the scripting?
I'm sorry, I didn't get you.
Sorry.
Let me repeat my question. Which language we should learn for scripting? This is also the question I have received.
Oh,
Okay,
so
you're talking about the
okay.
automation, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So Python is something I would go for. Although I don't do a lot
Yeah.
of automation, I am a kind of person who prefer manual testing, uh, because what I believe is that if you're using those available tools, there would have been a hacker who have already used that tools on the same
Yeah.
target. So I try to avoid those. I go for manual testing, and that's why I have worked with on such a lesser number of programs. But the question is not about that. The question is about writing scripts. So Python is something, Bash is something recommended.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Dash.
yes, so you can go for both, or Go language is something which people are using very commonly these days because of its speed. So yes, there are multiple choices available, and you can go for whatever suits you and whatever is feasible.
Okay. Then, how to utilize Burpsuit to find out vulnerabilities? Tell me your personal secrets and the useful extensions for bug bounty.
So Burpsuit, I'm using the community version. So Burpsuit don't find anything for me, right? But Naveed is someone who is using a lot of extensions. So I guess he's the right person to answer that.
Yeah. So, I use a lot of Bubsuit extension, a lot of man. The first one that I use is Param Miner. I will also leave a name in the chat box. It basically, if you run into a specific website, it separates the parameter after it. And the second is reflected parameters. It helps us a lot in finding reflected accesses in the websites.
Yeah.
And
So
this
try
and the
using.
third, yeah.
Yeah. Go
Yeah,
go go.
I want to add more into it. And the third one is authorize. Authorize is a very good extension, in PubSuite. If you hunt into a website which have a lot of features called admin roles, sub roles, it will help us in finding business logic bugs and address vulnerabilities. Like if we have false, it will automatically, if you run authorize, it will give it true, false to true, so we can see the results that the website is vulnerable or not. I will name to that param minor, reflected parameters, and authorize.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Burpsuit is one of the main tool you need to have.
Oh yeah.
Use wild bug bounty. Uh, the main feature you need to learn is the repeater. If you master that, That is the first tool you need to master in order to get started with your bug bounty.
Okay, I want to wind up our discussion with my last question. Like, what mistakes to avoid in a bug hunting career? The mostly mistakes a beginner do.
Yeah, so finding shortcuts, going for Twitter and just searching for bug bounty tips won't help you. Just because you have read that tips from somebody you don't even know. That's the first thing you need to understand. You need to have at least some understanding of your target, some understanding of that bug, some behind the scene work in order to be good at bug hunting. So that's the first mistake you need to avoid. The second is not reading. If you're not reading things, if you're not searching up for things, that's not gonna work. So try to avoid this mistake as well. Okay. Also, that bug bounty will make you rich in weeks. That is the major mistake you have in your mind already. So avoid that. It's not anything like that. It need a lot of persistency. It need a lot of putting a lot of efforts, getting so many duplicates, getting so many NAs and informative at the start of your bug bounty life. So these mistakes, some of these mistakes you need to avoid, and also just report your to the platform and forget it. Like just reporting and getting emotionally attached to your report is not going to work. Avoid those things, right? Or waiting for getting bounties. So and also keep learning. If you learn up to some level and you stop learning, that is not going to work in long run, because bug bounty life is such a regular evolving life, right? You need to learn things on daily basis. So avoid these few mistakes, like and these thoughts if you already have that.
Thanks, Mr. Adnan. I would like to question Mr. Naveed. Do you want to share any tips or any stuff with our beginner bug bounty hunters? Please go ahead.
Sure. For a beginner who want to jump into bug hunting, I would say focus on a single bug when you are looking to a website called IDO and broken access control. I cannot stress it enough. Like, don't go jump into server-side bugs. You will not learn it. Like SQL injections, SSRF, and specifically XSS. You can find. So the first step is to learn a single bug called IDOR and broken access controls. And the second is be persistence. Learn blogs on Mediums, Twitter, and look into activity reports. They will help you a lot in your journey. Yeah.
Okay, mashallah. Uh, it was a very informative session, and we have covered many, most of the question mostly people asked from the professionals. Uh, so I would like to thank all of you guys for sharing your information, knowledge, and giving your precious time.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It was nice talking to you guys. Nice talking to you, Sahel, particularly. And I hope your audience would have get some help out of that. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can find me on at the rate of Malik Info on Twitter or any other platform. And also, if you want to search about Secure Purple or want to learn about our services we are providing at Secure Purple, so you can just search Secure Purple and you will get the first link to our website or social media page. So take care and
Thank you so much for having us.
get
I
in
will
touch
link
just in
our
case you
yeah.
need any help.
Yes, guys, don't forget to follow Mr. Suhail, Mr. Adnan, and Mr. Naveed also. And I hope you will also get many beneficial skills and knowledge from their profiles they are sharing, inshallah.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you guys. Thank
okay,
you guys.
goodbye, take
Take care.
care,
Thank you so much for being with
goodbye.
us.